For over 2,000 years, Tibetans have lived on the Tibetan Plateau, a fragile ecosystem north of the Himalayas. In this harsh landscape, they evolved a spiritual way of life in harmony with their environment and with human nature. Tibetan nomads skillfully managed their livestock and sustained the land. And an enlightened culture of compassion and peace developed, expressed in unique forms of Buddhism, art, and traditions. The Tibetan people are the custodians of this rich cultural heritage, an ancient wisdom of inestimable value to the modern world, known to many through His Holiness the Dalai Lama. But since 1950, their homeland has been ruled by China, and Tibetans are an oppressed people living in desperate conditions. Their language, traditions, and religious practices, their very cultural and spiritual identity are under constant assault. China's policies supporting political subjugation and cultural assimilation are forcing radical changes. The impact on Tibetan society and on the daily lives of Tibetans has been profound. Use of the Tibetan language has been downgraded in schools, and Tibetan speakers struggle to get jobs. Religious freedom is severely restricted, and there is active interference in the transmission of Buddhist teachings from the old to the young. Over 1.4 million nomadic herders, the very heart of the traditional Tibetan way of life and culture, have been forced to leave their grazing lands and move to settlements away from their source of livelihood, reducing previously self-sufficient families to idleness, poverty, and despair. Encouraged by government incentives, a huge influx of Han Chinese settlers and migrant workers have made Tibetans a minority in many areas and transformed Tibetan towns and cities into Chinatowns. Every day, Tibetans experience the effects of economic marginalization and social discrimination. They see their work prospects dwindling, their social fabric being undermined, and their nation made to feel culturally inferior. At the same time, massive development programs and natural resource exploitation has damaged the environment, while bringing little or no benefit to Tibetans. Tragically, in recent years, the crisis in Tibet has moved to a new level. Since 2009, more than 100 Tibetans have set themselves on fire to protest China's rule. This has led to new and even harsher repressive measures. But why, when there are so many crises around the world, should we care particularly about what is happening in Tibet and to the Tibetan people? Why does Tibet matter? Explaining why is the goal of Why Tibet. To remind the world of what is in grave danger of being lost to us all forever. Because the civilization of the Tibetan people is disappearing before our very eyes, and most of the world is letting it go without comment or regret. Unless the Tibetan language, traditions, and religion can flourish freely in the Tibetan homeland, this unique culture, which has so much to offer the world, cannot survive. To save Tibet, the Tibetan people must have basic human rights and freedoms and be able to exercise their right to self-determination, to choose their own way of life and decide their own future. By telling the world why Tibet matters, you can help make this happen.